I decided to make this video. I have a Prius. This is a 2021 Prius Prime Plus. The Plus means it's got the bigger dashboard, I guess. I have to say, I love the way this car drives. I have a 2016 Prius, just a regular Prius 4 Touring is what it's called. And, but this thing with the leather seats and with the power seats, it's got the heated seats, So it's got the heated seats. You know what? I love the way that car, this car rides. This car rides 10 times better than that one. I don't know why. Everything is very tight. Now, my other car does have 200,000 miles on it. This one has about 100,000. But this car is just super, super tight. It does have, that was the lane thing. It does have the self-steering. It bops back and forth a little bit. Watch, I'm not touching the wheel. Look, I'll show you. I'm not touching the wheel. It'll bop back and forth a little bit, and then it'll get mad at you and tell you up there, hey, touch the wheel. Now, as far as plugging it in, now, you'll notice, okay, for the last 4 miles, I've been getting 990. It's in electric mode. So it's telling me I got 81% of the battery left. Now, when I don't charge it, when I charge it at home, I have a 220 fast charger by High Motor, I think it's called. Some weird thing I bought from some guy on Facebook. It works. It does work. I made a YouTube video on it. It works well, too. So when I charge the car up, I could go about 21, 22 miles before the motor will actually start. Things that I like about this Prius. My other Prius, the regular gas hybrid Prius without the bigger battery, I noticed that what happens is when you remote start that car, that motor will not start unless the heat's on. So you won't get any heat in that car. So if you hit the remote start, I do have a remote start on it, the car will never get warm. And also you'll get in the car and you'll start driving. You're like, oh my God, it's freezing cold because the motor never started. Now this car, the heater works off electric. So that's kind of cool in a way. It does use a lot of that battery. See? The battery says it's down to 75. It uses a lot of that battery when you put on the heat. Now, let's go to the info mode here. And you can see it where it's charging up the battery. So I'm in all electric right now. And you get that charge. You can make it charge the battery by hitting a button over here and you hold it. And that EV over there, the second light, will light up solid. And the motor will start and it'll start charging that extra battery. If not, it goes to 0 and then it works just like a regular Prius. And the mileage is not as good as my regular Prius. Not at all. This one gets about, maybe 51, something like that, where my other one gets, believe it or not, quite a bit higher. I'm in the 60s on my other one when I drive easy. Now, this car, what you want to do with a Prime is you want to plug it in all the time. This car wants to be plugged in. If you have solar at your house, this car is a home run because you can plug it in and be running on electric. Your motor will never start for at least the first 20 miles, at least. So, easily. If I'm able to pause this video, I'll pause this and I'll leave it sit. Well, geez, I was blocking that thing with my finger, sorry. I'll pause this video and we'll see what I get that mileage up to. But as you can see, I'm in all electric. 900 for the past 7 miles. It says I got 63% of the battery. So I am running at around that 20% battery range right now. 20-mile battery range. But like I said, this car, if you plug these Primes in, it's a home run because if you have solar at home, you plug it in, you're never buying gas. Your motor will never start if you work, within 20 miles of your house. Now, the bad thing about other electric vehicles, if you chose not to get one of these, let's say you bought a Tesla, and I like Tesla, don't get me wrong, but if you bought any one of these full hybrid cars. What are you going to do if you say, hey, we got to go to Florida next week? Let's get in the car and go I'm in Long Island. Let's go from Long Island to Florida. Well, if you had a full hybrid car, the best ones get you around 300 miles on electric if you're not using the heat or air conditioning. If you are, that's going to considerably drop. But let's say you do it in a time of year where you don't need any of that stuff. So you got optimum. So you go 300 miles, you'll end up somewhere in Jersey. And then you got to hope no one's at a charging station. You got to park the thing for 85 minutes and pay a decent amount of money, more than it would cost you to fill up with gas. And you got to park there for 85 minutes, and that only brings you to an 80% charge. So now maybe you'll go 220 miles in your next little bout. So that may get you into Maryland. And then you got to stop for 85 minutes. Oh, my God. That would be too much for me. That would be enough for me not to want that at all. Where the joy of this hybrid is, you could drive this thing on all electric, going to work every day. You might be lucky enough that you could plug it in at work. Then you're really, that's a real home run. That could happen. You might have maybe you work at a job trailer. If you're construction work, you might be able to plug it in. So, as far as I'm concerned, the best kind of hybrid is the true hybrid, not just electric. The true one with the motor on it, like the Prius, because you could just go and go and go. And I'll tell you, like I said, my other Prius, 2016, I got 220,000 or so miles on it. Thing runs like a top. I did my first set of brakes at 185,000 miles. My first set of brakes, 185,000 miles. And the only reason I did it was because the CV joint went in the front. That's all I had to change, was the CV joint and the brakes. And I went and bought another one. They're great cars. So now we got 56% left, and we're at 9.8 miles that we drove so far. Say 9.8 miles, and we got 55% of the back. So I'm definitely more. Like I said, 21 around there is what you get. So I'm gonna try to put this on pause. I hope it works. I think I can pause this video, and we'll see if I could show you how far I actually got on that. My son asked me to bring him up a battery pack, so I'm driving into a Riverhead area to get it. All right. I'm going to chat with you guys in a moment. I'm putting it on pause now. If I don't come back for some reason, like, subscribe. You never know what you're going to get in my videos. I was able to pause it, but I'm still driving, actually. So anyway, another thing I wanted to mention, right down there, you see that little battery symbol thing? The top of it is the larger battery. So let me see if I can zoom up. The top of that, see that green? That is the larger battery, and the blue is your standard, like, Prius battery. That would be, your standard battery. Is this where it was? I'm trying to remember. I forgot where I had to pick up my son. I'm looking. But anyway, so the standard battery is the Prius battery, the smaller one, is that light blue one. So after I get done with the initial 100%, like, see, I'm at 49 now, and it's going down. I'm at 11.8. When I get done with that initial, then it clicks to that one, and that'll give you another mile or two before it runs out. And it'll completely act like a regular Prius at that point. And when you see both those lights lit, when I do hit the brakes and stuff, it will charge that 48%. If I went down a hill, it would slowly start climbing. All right, I'm going to put this on pause again because I have to really look for this house. So I will be back in a moment. So far, we went 12.1 miles. Okay, I was able to pause it again. But you know what? I had to stop because look at the rainbow in the sky. Figured you guys would get a kick out of that. Look at that. That's quite a rainbow. Well, if these wipers weren't disturbing it. Look at that. So I just saw that in the sky. I said, my gosh. So, anyway, I'm going to stop and take a picture of the rainbow, I think. Look at that. That's amazing. So we're up to 13.1. You know what? I've seen plenty of rainbows. So we're up to 13.1. And I'm going to continue. And we'll pause it again and we'll see what we can get this up to. Pause the video. Check that rainbow. I still can't get over that rainbow. Look at that. That's some rainbow right there. Oh boy. All right, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to click back in a minute. We'll see what we're up to. Look at that. Look at that rainbow now. That's wild.